Hello, my narcissistic abuse family. My topic today is a little different. I am going to discuss ironies of narcissists, whatever you want to call it, idiosyncrasies, oxymorons, contradictions, because we know that narcissists are a riddle wrapped in an enigma, and it feels like their sole purpose is to confuse the heck out of us and turn everything upside down. I feel like this is an important topic because I think it has a lot to do with what takes us so long to wrap our heads around what this actually consists of. We go into relationships with narcissists, be it our parents or a romantic partner, and we're naive or vulnerable in the sense that we don't suspect that this individual is as cruel and malicious as they inevitably are, because they present themselves on the external realm. They look like grown adults. And you would assume that a grown adult would have consideration and basic decency when dealing with other grown adults, but that's not the case. And it took me a long time to get to this point, but I'm thrilled that I'm finally here and I can appreciate how toxic and awful narcissists are, and that results in our narcissistic abuse as victims. So I'm going to give you 5 contradictions of narcissists. And, again, this is totally from my perspective, but when you step back out of this situation, as painful and horrific as it is to extricate yourself, it's almost entertaining to see these people for what they are and how nonsensical they are. So my first irony is that these people present themselves with such a grandiose, elevated sense of importance, like they're larger than life, like they are just arrogant, cocky, so sure of themselves. But the irony is that beneath this facade, they're the most self-loathing, insecure people out there because of whatever the situation is that has led them to this tragic trajectory in life. Most of the time it's underlying trauma. So they experienced trauma in their childhood, and they're paying it forward. They're taking it out on other people throughout life. So that's one of the biggest ironies of a narcissist, is that these people come across like they're so sure of themselves. They're so awesome and they're so self-important. But ultimately, they are so insecure and they are self-loathing. They really hate themselves at the root of everything. Number 2 is, this is very ironic, is that narcissists have a suffocating fear of being alone. These people do not want to be alone. That's why they're always trying to be so grandiose and surround themselves with tons of people. But the irony is that they treat everyone as if they are disposable. Oftentimes, when their victim or supply starts to wise up to their toxic antics and how terrible they truly are, the narcissist will discard their supply or their current victim. So that's very ironic, is that they're so scared of being alone, but they treat people terribly. Why would anyone want to stick around them? They treat people like they're disposable, they're dispensable, and anyone with sense in their head would think, wow, I want to treasure and value these people in my life because they mean so much to me and I don't want to lose them. Not the narcissist. They treat everyone blanketly like shit. So number 3, the third irony of narcissism is that they are so materialistic. They put so much value on superficial things, material objects, and the irony of it all is that they are so selfish. You think that someone that puts so much emphasis on material items would be generous, would be free to be giving things to other people to share in this superficial indulgence, but that is not the case by any stretch. Narcissists are some of the most selfish people. I'm speaking from experience in terms of my mother. I know a lot of you have had this experience as well, where you get obligatory gifts. So the narc will present you with something, but there's always an ulterior motive. They give you something because they want to make you feel indebted to them, like you owe them something, when oftentimes, again referring to my narc mother, is that they give you something that you didn't want or that you don't need, or just something that's convenient for them to give you, and in turn they expect you to feel obligated, you to feel that you owe them something. They expect your allegiance somehow from this obligatory gift that has no place really in your life, that you didn't need, you didn't want, you didn't ask for, but they're doing it with strings attached, as they do with everything. Number 4, the fourth irony of narcissism is that they have absolutely no empathy. They have no hearts, it seems like, the way they treat people so terribly and with such flagrant disrespect. But they have no empathy. They cannot genuinely feel sorry for other people. They can't relate to people during hard times maybe that someone else is having. They don't care because all they can focus on is themselves. But the irony is that the narcissist proclaims themselves as the perpetual victim. So they don't care about other people, but they expect everyone else to care about them. You know, woe is me, the world is out to get me. That external locus of control where everything happens to them, not for them. They're always, being targeted, or they have the worst luck, or life has been so cruel to them. All that business. They don't genuinely care about other people. They don't have kindness within them or sympathy. So instead, they're the perpetual victim. They're always the victim or the martyr. They're always at some type of disadvantage, and they expect everyone to bow down to them, and they expect everyone else's sympathy, empathy, and yet they have none to give. That's my 4th irony. My 5th irony is that narcissists love to portray themselves as so popular. They have so many friends. They have such an extensive network of admirers, and they always try to project themselves like they're surrounded by so many people, right? But the irony is they are incapable of having genuine relationships. They're incapable of making meaningful connections, authentic connections with other people. So in this sense, we would say quantity, not quality, I guess. They don't care that all these people that they try to integrate themselves into, don't mean anything. They don't care that they're just another cog in the wheel. They just want to blend in and act like they have this whole menagerie of people around them. But the joke of it all is that they have no substantial relationships. I think this is also something that really messes with our heads. Why it's so hard to wrap your head around the fact that this person is a narcissist. These people that we loved, that we thought loved us, that we genuinely cared for, that we did things for, all the while, all they cared about is themselves. So, I hope this video gave you some insight, some useful information, and really at the end of the day, what is going to help us is just laughing at this. Like, you have to laugh so you don't cry. I mean, we've all cried. We've all been there. We've done that. So let's focus on how ironic and, disordered these people truly are, that they try to project themselves like they're so put together and they have everything going for them. But the irony of it all is that it's a joke. It's a facade. They're all lies. It's duplicitous. Real quick, I will go over these 5 ironies of narcissism. Number 1 is that they project this grandiose persona. The irony is that they are self-loathing, they're self-deprecating, they despise themselves at the core. They have no self-esteem. That's the biggest one, I think. Number 2 is they have this intense fear of being alone. And the irony is they treat everyone like crap, like they're dispensable. They have no genuine appreciation for others. Number 3 is that they are so materialistic and superficial. And the irony of it all is that they're so selfish and they just consume everything for themselves. They have no generosity in their blood. All they care about is taking everything for themselves. So they're materialistic, but all they care about is taking everything for themselves. They're selfish. That's the ironic part of it all. Number 4 is that they have zero empathy whatsoever. They have, no genuine feelings. The irony of it all is that they're always a perpetual victim, and they expect everyone else to sympathize with them or to pay attention to them. They're always at a disadvantage. So everyone should feel sorry for them, but they don't give a shit about anybody else. Number 5 is that they try to overinflate or over-aggrandize how important they are. They try to project that they have all these friends and all these people around them, but the truth of the matter, the irony, is that they're incapable of having meaningful relationships. I read somewhere one time that narcissists don't have friends, they have followers. They have people that will never challenge them, that will always support them in their malicious endeavors, such as my codependent father, which I've talked about. So anyway, guys, I hope that these 5 ironies of narcissism resonates with you, that you see how disordered these people truly are, which is why they're so malicious. They're super miserable. And you guys were bumped and we're bruised. More than anything, we are blessed because we're overcoming this trauma and this heartache and what these awful people put us through, and we're going to come out the other side, and we're going to be so much stronger and appreciative of our amazing lives in the process. God bless you guys. I'll see you soon.